Hello, my name is Ed Templeton, and I'm a professional skateboarder for Toy Machine blood-sucking skateboard company. And I started the company, and so I do a lot of the graphics and advertising for it, and also am a pro skateboarder for it. And I'm 33 years old. Since gotten very corporate. There's a lot of big companies buying skateboard companies, and big companies using skateboarders to advertise, to try to make themselves look cool, you know, using a street culture to make themselves look edgy or something like that. You see a lot of companies doing that. And then also the attitude of skateboarders have changed a little bit. Not too much. I think the essence is still the same. It's still a very artistic sport. It's very individual. There's not, you don't have to have a team to do it. You can do it by yourself. So I think that aspect of it still draws the kind of artsier type people to the sport. But at the same time, the corporate side of it and the fact that it's on television all the time also brings a lot of meatheads into the sport too. So it's kind of bigger. It's bigger. I started in 1995, so I started skating in 1985, so almost 10 years I went without taking it seriously. Before that I had been painting, but around 1995 I started realizing like I'm missing such a great opportunity to document these kids, and you know, they're living such a fast life, and they're just, you know, they get paid to skateboard, which is the greatest thing ever. They get paid to cruise around the country doing skate demonstrations when they have a lot of fans, and a lot of girls love them, and you know, they're young, so they're experimenting with drugs, and they're experiencing the world for the first time. Most of them are young, and then they get this opportunity to be a pro skateboarder or amateur skateboarder, and they start traveling the world. So it's all new to them, and I'm seeing that because I went through that when I was their age. I'm the guy running the team and driving them around and going skating with them. So I'm seeing this for the second, third, fourth time. I'm seeing it every time a new group of kids comes in. I get to see them experience the world, and it's really fun for me just to watch that.
Little kids having fun. Little kids doing drugs. Little kids playing punk. Little kids shooting jumps.
My art career is doing better and better each year. More and more shows are being offered to me, and so there's a little bit of play with as I skate, maybe a little less. I do more art, and more art means less skateboarding. But I still have to do Toy Machine. I still have to, on the company side, I still have to do the business stuff. And so the thing that probably gets hurt the most is my skateboarding, actually, because I end up doing too many other things aside from skateboarding.
Little kids playing punk. Little kids shooting junk.
I don't feel like there's a distance between what I'm shooting and skateboarding, because it's kind of the same. They go together. I get most of my photographs for my art shows come from being on these trips, you know, and then I take that and put that in a gallery situation, and the outside public can come in and see from an insider view, because I'm also a pro skateboarder, so I'm like shooting myself and the other pro skateboarders. They get to see into that life, sort of a life of anarchy.
Big trucks for the small, let them grab, let them get, otherwise they get sick, swallow sand, puke them up, use your hands when you cut, dream mirrors, swig gloves, wash them down with Captain Crunch.
There's definitely a similarity with all art forms, I think, and skateboarding, because I feel like skateboarding is an art form, because it's, you know, you choose what you want to do. There's no rules of this is what you have to do. Whereas in, you know, you watch Olympic gymnasts or something, they have to do certain moves. It's a prerequisite of being judged. You have to do a double backflip or something. And in skateboarding, it's not like that. I mean, there's no set rules, and you can do what you want, and you can be a great skateboarder, and all the other skateboarders can watch you and respect you, and it can be completely different. Someone can do a trick on the flat ground or jump down a giant off a building or something, and there's respect for both of those. It's not like this guy's better or this guy's better. It's just like that guy's incredible and this guy's incredible, and everyone's incredible for different ways. And that's the same as in artwork too. I mean, you can like an abstract painter and think it's incredible, and also a photorealist painter and photography, and everything's the same. So, and it is very much about details in skateboarding too. I mean, just the way a skater does his trick and the clothes he wears and his style is very important. And I think the same in photography. I mean, you could have 4 people shooting the same scene, and it's going to be 4 different photographs. As a skateboarder, you are skating down the street, let's say, and you are looking at very specific things that the general person walking down the street is not looking at. You're interested in the curb and a bench that you might want to board slide, and you're looking ahead. So there's kind of a foresight. Like, you're never just looking right where you are. You're looking always, like, because you're moving fast too. You're going, okay, I'm looking up there because when I get there, something's going to happen. I'm going to try to skate that thing. And I think in photography, I do use that in photography too. I feel like I'm always looking way ahead, because I'll see someone that I might want to photograph, and they'll be, you know, 20 meters ahead of me, and so I get my camera ready early, you know, so when I get there I'm ready to shoot it. I don't know if that comes from skateboarding or not, but maybe it does. There's schools of photography, obviously, and there's, when you're in, I never went to school, but I'm very familiar with how the school teaches photography, and you know, there's all these rules that they give you, and it's about the print and making it perfect and all these things and being in focus. And I've never thought that way. I've always thought a photograph can be good for any reason. It doesn't have to be a great photograph. It doesn't have to be in focus. As long as when you see it, it gets an emotion out of you. You know, it tells a story. If you see the photograph and you understand this is what's going on here, that's amazing. It could be the shittiest photograph ever, technically, but it still emotionally has some kind of meaning. You know, they look like they're diseased or something. This is, you know, 20-something years of shin injuries. So like this little area here is all scar tissue. There's no skin anymore. It's just really thin, you know. So when my board hits it, just rips open instantly, because there's no, you know, on this side there's skin, on this side it's just. And I wear pants all the time, so my legs are very white. My biggest fear is fear. You know, fear itself. I've skated for so long that I've gone through so many different phases of fear. You know, I went through the early days when no fear at all, try everything, and then you know, I've been injured. I broke my neck in the year 2000, and I've had six concussions, and you know, lots of injuries that set you back, and it kind of restarts your fear. So when I came back from my neck injury, you know, I found everything to be a lot scarier. And then but then I overcame that and went back to how I was. And I think now that I'm older, I definitely pick and choose my battles. I kind of, you know, more often than not, I decide, I'm not going to do that today. And you know, it takes a lot more to push me to that level where I used to be. But like I said, skateboarding is open to interpretation. So, maybe I'm not doing as many big jumps and big rails, handrails and gaps that I ever did before, but I'm just doing other things, hopefully, that are... I was skating at a contest in Lausanne, in Switzerland, and I was board sliding a long rail that they had built that went straight and then kinked down, 2 kinks. I was going to board slide the whole thing and down through the kinks, and then right when I got to the kinks, my board just stopped, and I went flying forward and hit my legs on the inside of the rail, and then flipped onto my stomach on the rail, and split my stomach, and then that flipped me onto my head, directly on, like straight onto my head, and I slid on my head for a couple feet before my weight actually hit, and then snapped my neck, and so yeah, you know, I lay there for a second. I put my hand on my head and looked at my hand, and it was lots of hair and blood, and I thought like maybe my head was gashed open, but it was just from sliding on my head. It like burned all the hair off, so I had a bald spot like right there, like maybe like 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters of bald spot from sliding, and then there's blood, and then I tried to get up, and my neck didn't work. Couldn't get up, so they had to take me away to the hospital. And a week later, I found out it was broken. The doctors in Lausanne didn't diagnose it correctly. They didn't catch it, and so I had a small neck brace on, and then I went to Amsterdam and got it rechecked, and the doctors there said your neck is broken. You have to go home immediately. I went home and had to do physical therapy and everything. Luckily, I didn't have to have an operation though, so I'm very lucky. There's little differences, but yeah, I can skate up to a group of skaters anywhere in the world, you know, and there's like a shared feeling, you know. They know that I skate, and I know they skate, and so we know. And that's all you need to know. And that's how it was when I started. I mean, back in 1986 and 87, there wasn't as many skateboarders, so I'd walk around different places, and I'd look down at their shoes, you know. If I saw the ollie marks in their shoes, I was like, hey, what's up, man? You know, they would look down at my shoes and say, hey, what's up? Yeah, you skate? Okay, that's cool, you know? Yeah.
Little kid shooting down.
I was born in Orange County, which is the suburbs south of Los Angeles. A lot of my artwork is about the suburbs. I mean, where the place where I live is one of the biggest suburbs in the world. I mean, Los Angeles is here, and you can drive from the middle of Los Angeles for 1 hour to my house, and there's no nature. It's all cement, you know, the whole way. And then you can drive from my house even further south another hour, and it's still no nature, you know. Most of the times it's like a city, and you leave the city and you can go to some countryside and then maybe a small town, and where I live it's just, there's no space between the towns. It's just town, 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 town. And it's, you know, if you look at it from above, it's just cancer. It looks like a human cancer on the earth, you know. And so I live right in the middle of that. But the minute I started traveling the world as a skateboarder, seeing the rest of the world, I realized where I live is super fucked up, you know, because I see the rest of the world. I went around the world and saw everything, and come back and go, I can't believe I live here. It's good though for skateboarding because there's so much cement. It's a big you know, big cement spot. So that's why I stayed, because skateboarding is so good there. But it's such a weird place, and that's what a lot of my photography and a lot of my painting is very informed from that place where I live.